Algebra 1. This is lab number 6. In this one, we are looking at how to draw a histogram on our calculator. So this is very similar actually to what we did when we created a box and whisker plot on our calculators. We need to enter in some data and then tell our calculator to interpret it as, in this case now, a histogram rather than a box and whisker plot. So let me start reading this. This is right before lesson 62 in your book, so you can follow along, but it says, a histogram is a vertical bar graph that organizes data into equally sized intervals. This makes it easy to see where the majority of data values fall in a measurement scale. Given a set of data, you can make a histogram with a graphing calculator. So, a teacher has test scores for her class and wants to know how many students earned higher than 70 points. Use the data to make a histogram. So the first thing that we need to do is enter this into our plot. Now, I'm going to be showing you mostly on the calculator, so if you want to see these instructions visually, you can find them in your book. So when we do this, the first thing we're going to go to is Stat here, and we are going to enter and edit list 1. So L1 you should be in, and it should be clear, but if it's not, say there's a couple numbers, maybe you have these ones in there and you want to get rid of them. Well, you can go up to the top of the list so that it's filled in on that list name. Say clear. It doesn't look like you did anything, but when you press down, it'll all be gone. Easier than actually deleting out each one. All right, so let's enter in our information. So when we do this, I'll go slowly so you can follow along on your calculators. Remember, press enter after each number that I say. 30, 33, 33, 34, 55, 56, 63, 65, 67, 71, 80, 82, 85, 88, 89, 90, 90, and 97. So when we are done, we should have 18 pieces of data. Let's just check. You should have 30, 33, 34, 30, 33, 33, 34, 55, 56, 63, 65, 67, 71, 80, 82, 85, 88, 89, 90, 90, and 97. So with this, we should have all of these different ones in L1. Let me just check to make sure I have all of them. Yep, it looks like we have 18 pieces of data, and that's how many I have in my list. So the next thing that we're going to do, just like we would with our box and whisker plot, we need to turn our statistics plot on. So I'm going to do second and y equals in order to get to this blue stat plot. And we can go to number 1, and we need to turn it on. Now the type is a little different. Instead of using this box and whisker plot, I'm going to use the one right beside it. So I'm going to go over, so down to type and then over to histogram and press enter. And then I just need to check some things. My X list, so where I put my data should be L1, and the frequency should be 1. All right. Once we do that, we can then see our histogram by doing zoom. And then since we're working with statistics, we can use number 9, zoom stat. So here's our histogram. And we can look at some different information about it by using trace. So press on trace here, and it will tell you what each of these boxes represent. So for this first one, what it's saying is it's going from and recording scores from a minimum of 30 to a maximum of 43.4, which means that n equals 4. So there are 4 different data points between 30 and 43.4, which is true. In our list, we had 4 different numbers, 4 different scores between 30 and 43.4. The next box has only 2 scores in it. the next one 3, another 3 in this next, 5 from 83.6 to 97, and lastly from 97 to 110.4 we only have one value. Now when we look at these intervals, they seem quite odd. Why would we have these intervals that are not perfect numbers? We have 30 to 43.4, 13.4 points in an interval. That's really odd, and that's something we need to change. So how we do this is we're going to go to window. So when we press on window, we can put in what is our minimum score, what's our maximum score, and then we can also tell it what scale do we want to go by. And in this case, if we're thinking about test scores, well, our letter system goes by 10, so why not make our histogram go by 10s as well? So let's first put in the minimum, and our minimum score is 30, so it has that right there. But our X maximum score, well, in this test there was no extra credit, so our maximum was 100. And then our X scale, instead of 13.4, let's go by 10. Don't worry about anything on the y-axis, but when we go to graph this again, we can see this, and you can either press graph and you'll see it, or you could do zoom 9 again. Oops. Let me try that again. Zoom 9, and you can see your histogram. Okay. Actually, I think by doing that, it kind of canceled out what we did, so let me try that again. Okay, so don't do zoom 9 afterwards. It kind of cancels out what window we did. So 30 and 100 and 10. And then just press graph and you will see your new histogram. So that when we go to trace this, we can say, all right, from 30 to 40, 30% to 40%, we had 4 people. Nobody was between 40 to 50. 2 people were between 50 to 60. 60 to 70, we had 3 people. 1 person for our next category. 5 people were in that B range of 80 to 90. And then 3 people got an A, going from 90 to 100. It helps us understand these scores a little bit better, and thinking about what they truly are as test scores, we can make a histogram that really fits the information. So this is how we can create a histogram on our calculators, but just one more thing, remember to always clear out your data when you're done. So let's go and do that. Let's go to Stat, Edit, and let's clear out that L1. And then let's also turn off our stat plot. So let's go second y equals, and with number 1, turn that plot off, okay? So that it's ready for the next person, okay? And then lastly, just get it back to that calculator page by doing second mode so that you can quit out of that. All right. Well, I hope this helps you understand Lab 6 a little bit better about drawing histograms on your calculator.